And I want to ask you this. If you're having problems in the physical area, are you fascinated with sickness? And that's why you got to watch these ads on television. These ads on television are designed to do two things. First of all, to give you an ailment that will require you to buy the remedy. You sit and watch television from 6 o'clock when you get home and fall asleep at 2 in the morning, and you have seen about 12 or 15 nose-dripping, sore throat commercials. You're going to get it. Ask yourself the question, are you fascinated by those nose-dripping commercials? And they show you the inside of the throat that's raw and raspy, and you hear people hacking and coughing. There's one real cute commercial, though. I laughed about it. It was entertainment for me. It was for some kind of a little stomach remedy. When you eat too much or drink too much. And they showed the picture of the inside of this guy's stomach. He's just drinking. The stuff that he's drinking is just running down into his stomach. And so his stomach says, I told that guy not to send any more of that stuff down here. And so the stomach just says, back up you go. Be careful what you give your power of fascination to. Control that which controls you. So ask yourself, am I fascinated with my sickness? Because there is that subconscious suggestion, that it's fashionable to have a certain kind of sickness. They tell you every year what kind of flu you're supposed to have. And if you don't have it, you're not hip. Like, as a matter of fact, a few years ago, you people became so outspoken that they decided they'd stop discriminating against you, so they even found a nice sickness for you. They gave you sickle cell anemia. Don't worry, the rest of you will get yours. I certainly believe in working to correct injustice. But even when you're trying to correct a negative, when you're trying to correct an injustice, be careful that you don't become fascinated with it. This is why many times people who specialize in certain diseases and so on, they get it. Because the law of mind is higher than any other law. And you may mean good, but if you do not relate correctly to the law of mind, you'll suffer for it. Let's alleviate sickness and injustice and poverty. Let's alleviate all of the negatives in ourselves, first of all, and in the world. But let us not become fascinated with these negatives. We perpetuate them and increase them. Now, in closing, let's get to the positive use of our power of fascination. We've touched upon it before. If you want to be a healthy person, become fascinated with health. Intensely interested in the idea of health. Become intensely interested. Become intensely enchanted with the idea of health. Whatever you want to be, become intensely interested in that. I've had a wonderful experience over the past 2 months. I became so interested and fascinated with the idea of trimming down my physique that I go to the magazine stand, and every physique magazine that I see, I buy. And I lay those magazines all around me, on the floor, up on my wall, so that even walking through one of my residences, I'm always looking at the type of physique that I want to have. Consequently, I've trimmed down. Not only that, in the process, I have grown 2 inches. Somebody shout the power of fascination. And I've told you this before, and it bears repeating again, especially you ladies. Get those fashion magazines and select the type of shape you would like to have. And keep those models around you so that you see them. Put some up in your kitchen. Put some in the bathroom. Little picture up on your mirror there. Because what you see is what you get. What you see is what you become. This is the power of fascination. Those of you who say, Reverend Ike, I want another car. You can go to the showrooms free and look at it. You can go to Detroit, such as I did, and watch them put those cars together. Be fascinated in what you want. Look at it. Surround yourself with it. Get full of the feeling and you'll draw it to you. Back to the idea of health for a moment. If you want to be healthy, become fascinated with the idea of health. And you see, I have the pictures of these healthy people with the type of physique that I want. And you watch me. I'm not through yet. But it's all a part of the principle that I taught you a long time ago. Tell your body how to react. Once you learn how to use your mind power, the power of your fascination, you can shape your body at will. You can take off what you want off and put on what you want put on. That's the meaning of the word master. It means that you are master of your own fate and captain of your own soul. You ladies keep pictures of these youthful beauties before your eyes, and you'll become like them. The story is told of a young prince who was a hunchback. And so his father, the king, had a statue built that looked exactly like the young hunchback prince in every detail, except one. The statue was not a hunchback, but rather the statue stood erect. And the king had that perfect erect statue placed in the garden where the young prince would see it as he played and passed back and forth every day, bit by bit, without even knowing what was going on subconsciously. The young prince's back began to straighten until at last he was no longer a hunchback. He became that which he was fascinated with. If you want to be a happy person, become fascinated with happiness. Stop turning on all the bad news and going through the newspapers reading about all the terrible things that are happening. Become fascinated with happiness. And I know some of you may not think of it as a spiritual song, but I think about that song, Life is a Cabaret, as a very, very spiritual song. Tells you not to shut yourself away from life, in other words, but to get out into life and experience the joy of living, experience the joy of loving, experience the joy of sharing. Because again, the Bible says, the joy of the Lord is your strength. Happiness prospers you because even money loves happy people. Say that with me. Money loves happy people. Say it as if you mean it. Money loves happy people. And so I'm going to be happy. Be fascinated by love. When you see lovers walking in the park, holding hands or whatever, be fascinated by it, and you will draw the experience of love to you. Be fascinated by success and prosperity. Be fascinated by those people who are trying to be something, do something, and have something. And give a lot of room to those people who ain't got nothing, ain't had nothing, don't want to get nothing. The last object of your fascination. Become fascinated with money. It has always fascinated me. And I don't mind admitting it. I would watch the people who had money, and it fascinated me how convenient money made life. Become so fascinated with money that you never pass a bank without paying some attention. I just wonder about people. You know, I never pass a bank without knowing it. Every time I pass a bank, I bless it because I'm fascinated by money. The last tour that went to California, you remember I had a part of that tour to take you down Wilshire Boulevard, and I told you to count the banks. I don't see how anybody, when I ride down Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles, I say to whoever's with me, I say, I don't really see how people could be poor. But look at all of these banks. There are some people in this world that have so much money that they have to put banks on top of banks to hold all of their money. And I said, since there are people in this world that got it, why damn it, I'm going to be one of them. Because the best way to help the poor is to not be one of them.